Doo-doo-dee. It's Nandi!
Hello friends, today I'm bringing you all a new piece of content, driven mainly by public demand. I've had loads of messages from people to start doing data mining videos and exploring what might potentially be coming to the game in the future. As always, my video is divided by chapter markings and timestamps for you to skip ahead to whatever is most relevant for you. If you're a newer player, entering my Refer a Friend code at the end of this video also gets you 100 Blackstone. Basically, whenever new content is released for a mobile game, there is all of the stuff that we can see on the surface and are able to engage with as players. Basically, the game. However, hidden underneath the surface is a lot of really complex looking code and information. People who are so inclined, generally those with a tech background, can go into these layers of code and find out loads of information about new things that might be coming to the game in the future. Now, full disclosure, I have literally zero ability to do any of this myself, and I'm reliant on these so-called data miners to provide me with this information in order to then provide this to all of you. If this is the kind of content that you enjoy seeing, please let me know in the comments section and I can try and make this a regular feature. The biggest takeaway, however, is that all of this is not 100% confirmed. It is subject to change insofar as Snowprint could do a complete 180 and decide not to release any of the characters mentioned today. So take the information provided here with a pinch of salt, and I have included a big disclaimer on all of my slides saying this is all subject to change. The first thing to look at is the Neurothorpe. Now, we already know through the official announcement that this is a character that will be coming to Tacticus. We can start by looking at its abilities. The active Spirit Leech deals targeted psychic damage to an enemy within 3 hexes. It then applies a suppress effect and heals the Neurothorpe and any adjacent Tyranid allies. The passive seems super cool, Neuroparasite. It means that whenever the Neurothorpe attacks an enemy with psychic damage, it leaves behind a parasite. This parasite gets stronger each time the target takes psychic or suppression damage, and the Neurothorpe then does bonus damage based on the parasite's level. This looks like it can potentially infect multiple enemies at once and seems super fun and flavoursome for the Tyranid faction. The Neurothorpe doesn't have any new to game traits per se, but I've included Shadow in the Warp and Synapse on screen as reminders of what they do. The Neurothorpe has a physical melee attack and a psychic ranged attack. It also has a movement of 2, and the stats on screen are demonstrated at the Diamond 1 level. The next character is presumed to be the Tyrant Guard. These creatures are the ultimate bodyguards, and their entire existence is to protect their Hive Tyrant leader. Their active ability is called Crushing Claws. It attacks an enemy in melee range for piercing damage and applies Taunt. It also pushes back adjacent enemies and suppresses everyone affected. We've already seen the taunt mechanic in-game for Brother Jaeger. The taunted unit is forced to attack the taunter and cannot move away or use any other abilities unless it is healed. The passive Guardian Organism stays true to lore and reduces damage taken by the Tyrant Guard if it has not moved or remains within Synapse range. We see a new trait brought to the game through the Tyrant Guard. Crushing Strike. It allows the Tyrant Guard to deal extra damage if it hasn't moved this turn. Clearly, the stats are subject to change, but this creature also looks to have an absolutely massive health and armor stat, which is even more impressive when its passive ability is taken into account. The final Tyranid appears to only have ability descriptions in game files, with no accompanying art. I'd therefore exercise extra caution in the takeaways here. The unit is called the Tyranid Prime, and it has an active ability to summon a Tyranid warrior. The passive Synaptic Linchpin allows Tyranids to summon Hormagaunts when attacks are made that don't defeat their target. I believe that both the Hormagaunt and the Tyranid warrior unit are both already in existence in the Onslaught sections of the game. The final character we have datamined in this patch is Ragnar Blackmane. Ragnar is currently the chapter champion for the Space Wolves, and I would expect therefore that he would come to the game as a legendary or epic character, befitting his station and lore. The datamines tell us that he has an active ability called War Howl. It gives all friendly melee units unstoppable, bonus crit and damage till end of turn. After using the ability, Ragnar gets to move and attack as normal. This functions a bit like the WAG ability from boss Gullgorts, but allows you to control your characters to much greater lethality. Ragnar's passive allows him to deal bonus hits and critical damage when he comes into melee range with an enemy. If Ragnar defeats an enemy, this passive is then applied to all friendly Space Wolves. We also see a new trait with Ragnar, Rapid Assault. It gives him +1 movement until he makes a melee attack, and also makes that first melee attack do +25% damage. A crucial bit of information here is that his attack does 7 hits. This can be further boosted with his passive, and his damage stat looks to be pretty good. This guy could be an all-star if the stuff you see on screen is maintained. That's all I've got for today, and again, disclaimer that this is all subject to change. Sorry if it's a bit rushed, but I wanted to get this out to you guys as soon as possible. If you're a newer player and haven't yet used your Refer a Friend code, I'd love if you could consider entering mine. It gets you 100 Blackstone and goes a long way in supporting me and the work that I do. Bear in mind that it's single use, so choose who you support wisely. Finally, if you're interested in joining a guild of competitive players to push yourself to the next level, drop by the Panzerforce Discord via the link in the video description below. That's all for now, folks, and if you'd like me to continue doing this kind of content and working with data miners, please let me know in the comment section below. Bye for now.
Doo-doo-dee. It's Nandi.